वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः। एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यमव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्। सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धय ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषामव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परा अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धरता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी। सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः। अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः। समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समसङ्गविवर्जितः। तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेता स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः। ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्दधाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
उपस्थित भगवत भक्तों के रूप में मेरी
अपनी ही आत्माओं। श्रीमद् भगवत गीता भगवान के मुखार बिंद से निकली हुई अमर वाणी है, और जो भी जीव श्रद्धा सहित इस अमर वाणी को धारण करता है, वो जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति करता है, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है। ये जीवात्मा चाहे जिस देश में रहे और चाहे जिस भेष में रहे, गीता सबका सब काल में समान रूप से कल्याण करने वाला एक अनुपम एवं अलौकिक ग्रंथ है।
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः।
जिस समय अर्जुन ने गीता पढ़ी है, अर्जुन 75 साल का था तब उसको गीता सुनाई थी, और ये अर्जुन से बड़े थे, तो ये 125 से ऊपर के थे, लेकिन दाढ़ी नहीं आई, मूछ नहीं आई, और बूढ़े भी नहीं हुए, तो उनके कर्म दूसरे हैं। नहीं समझ में आता है, नहीं आएगा, इसलिए गुरु की आवश्यकता है। और ये गुरु की परंपरा आज से नहीं चली है, अनादिकाल से, जब से सृष्टि बनी है तब से गुरु परंपरा है। और जितने भी हुए, अब चाहे सिख न माने गुरु को, लेकिन सिखों के गुरुओं ने गुरु किए थे। गोविंद सिंह का भी कोई गुरु था, अर्जुन देव का भी कोई गुरु था। भले आर्य समाज न माने गुरुओं को, ना समझी से, लेकिन ऋषि दयानंद का भी कोई गुरु था, और ऋषि दयानंद भी किसी के गुरु थे। स्वामी श्रद्धानंद जी से मैं मिला हूं, वो उनके गुरु थे। तो सज्जनों, गुरु की परंपरा हमेशा से है और हमेशा रहेगी, लेकिन अब आजकल उसका मिसयूज हो रहा है। तो मिसयूज हो जाए, लेकिन गुरु परंपरा खराब नहीं है। अब ये कमरा है कि नहीं? आपने क्या बनाया? ये पूजा पाठ के लिए। आप चले जाओ यहां से, कल मैं खरीद लूंगा कमरा, तो मेरा हो जाएगा कि नहीं है? मैं यहाँ भगवान का फोटो हटा दूंगा, बाथरूम यहीं बनाऊंगा, कमोड लगा दूंगा, तो इसी कमरे का मिसयूज हो गया। और यहीं बैठ करके मैं सबको गीता पढ़ाऊंगा, योग सिखाऊंगा, बूढ़ों को फिर जवान बना दूंगा मेरी तरह, तो ये उसका प्रॉपर यूज होगा। तो हमने सब चीजों का मिसयूज कर दिया है। कई भाई कहते हैं कृष्ण महाराज तो अवतार नहीं थे। मैं पूछता हूँ, नहीं थे तो तुम उनको मानते जी क्यों हो? हम भी तुम्हारे साथी नहीं मानते। चलो, फिर तुम ये क्यों कहते हो कि उन्होंने इतनी औरतें क्यों करी? जब थे नहीं तो औरतें कैसे करी? फिर उन्होंने गोवर्धन कैसे उठाया? लेकिन सारा ग्रंथ, हमारा लिटरेचर सारा भरा हुआ है इससे। तो सज्जनों, अवतार और कृष्ण ये दो नहीं। जो भी नीचे आता है दूसरों को ऊपर उठाने के लिए, वो अवतार है। लेकिन अब उनमें किसी में कम विभूति है, किसी में ज्यादा है। तो अब टाइम बहुत हो गया है, और आप लोग सोच रहे हो घड़ियां देखने लगे हो, तो मैं तो घड़ी अभी देखता नहीं हूँ। फिर भी मुझे किसी ने घड़ी दे दी है, ये घड़ी रखो स्वामी जी। वो जब मैं बैंकॉक में काम कर रहा था ना, प्रवचन कर रहा था, लोग आते थे, तो एक सेठ जी आते थे, रोज सबसे पहले आते सत्संग में, सबसे पहले भाषण देने वाले पहले आ गए, सुनने वालों का पता ही नहीं। तो वहां वो सेठ जी सबसे पहले आते थे, और खाली हाथ कभी नहीं आते, रोज कुछ न कुछ लेके आते थे। तो एक दिन मैंने देखा उनको, तो एक इतना सारा डिब्बा लेके आए मखमल का, ऊपर से वो सोने की पट्टी चढ़ी हुई। तो मैंने, अब मेरी नजर गई उस तरफ, गीता पाठी हुआ तो क्या हुआ, लालच तो सबके अंदर है ही है, कुछ न कुछ है लालच, किसी को रोटी का, किसी को नोट का, किसी को सोट का, किसी को पोट का, किसी को मकान का, किसी को कार का। तो मेरी नजर उधर गई, बार बार उधर जाएगी नजर। तो मैंने कहा मैं प्रवचन अच्छा कर नहीं सकूंगा, तो क्यों नहीं ये शंका दूर करूं। मैंने सेठ जी से पूछा, सेठ जी क्या लाए हो? कहने लगे स्वामी जी अभी देता हूँ आपको। खोल करके उसने घड़ी निकाल के मुझे दे दी, फर्स्ट क्लास घड़ी, 7,000 रुपए की। मैंने कहा इसको मैं क्या करूंगा, मैं तो घड़ी लगाता नहीं, मुझे घड़ी की जरूरत ही नहीं है। बोला नहीं स्वामी जी आपके लिए नहीं लाया हूँ, तो हमारे लिए लाया हूँ, आप ये घड़ी अपने पास रखो, ताकि आप भाषण करो तो आपको दिख जाए कि टाइम कितना हो गया है, क्योंकि आपको तो सवेरे न दफ्तर जाना है न दुकान जाना है। अभी आप घर जाओ जल्दी से तो अच्छा ही रहेगा, नहीं तो बच्चे फिर चिल्लाएंगे, बच्चे कल से कह देंगे डैडी खबरदार है तुम गए तो, और जाओ तो सिनेमा में भले चले जाओ, लेकिन बाबा जी के पास मत जाओ। हाँ, बोल कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। भाई एक साथ बोलो न जय, एक साथ सब जन एक आवाज में बोलो, और फिर देखो कि एक साथ बोलने में कितना अच्छा लगता है। कमर सीधी कर लो और फिर बोलो, बोल कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। क्या एक साथ का ही आनंद। बाजार में 3,000 आदमी चलते हैं, कोई नहीं देखता उनको। जाते हैं सुपरमार्केट में, खूब घूमते हैं आदमी, ऐसे घूमते तो चीटियां चल रही हैं। लेकिन मिलिट्री वाले 10 आदमी अगर निकले सड़क पर, सब खड़े होकर देखने लग जाते हैं कि मिलिट्री वाले जाते हैं। क्यों? उनका कदम एक साथ होता है, उनकी ड्रेस एक जैसी होती है, वो कोई कास्ट या कम्युनिटी नहीं होती है, पर उनकी वो यूनिटी होती है। उसको देख के लोग कहते हैं मिलिट्री वाले जा रहे हैं। ऐसे ही आपको देखेंगे जब एक साथ जय बोलते हैं कैसी अच्छी लगी, और एक साथ गीता पढ़ेंगे तो इससे भी ज्यादा अच्छी लगेगी, और एक साथ गीता का ज्ञान धारण कर लेंगे, धरती में स्वर्ग आएगा, हमको स्वर्ग में ही जाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। स्वर्ग कहेगा चलो धरती पर, क्यों कुमार गीता शुरू हो गई है। तो एक बार फिर बोलो प्रेम से, बोल कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की हरिओम तत्सत। ये देखो कंस चाणूरमर्दन
गुरुर्ब्रह्म
Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. Today, our Peter ji has some technical problem from Toronto, Canada. So we will begin the program now. So let's begin. Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kansa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Om Sana Bhavatu Sano Bhunaktu Saviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. अखण्डमनिराकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानार्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Tameva Mata Chasupita Tvameva Bandhu Chasakha Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva. Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. Welcome to this beautiful Saturday Satsang Gita program, Gita Discourse, Gita Series, Gita Dhyan. We are starting our program today with our perennial speaker, Nand Kapoorji, Narendra Kapoorji, and our guest speaker today is a very, very special Janki Keswaji. I know her for many, many years. She is from Chicago, and we are very happy and welcome to her today. With that, I request Nanda Kapoorji to please start the program. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. Om Shri Paramatme Namaha. Gita Shasmedham Punyam Ya Pathet Priyatapuman Vishnu Padam Vaproti Bhai Shokadi Varjitaha Gita Adhyan Shilasya Pranayam Parasya Cha Naiva Santi Hi Papani Purvajanam Kritani Cha Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansuchanurmardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Om Brakatunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada Om Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garudhvaja Mangalam Pundarikaksha Mangalaye Tano Hari Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudichyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vishishyate Om Shuklam Bhardharam Vishnu Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadane Dhyaye Sarvavigno Pashante Om Shantakaran Bhujakishayanam Padmanavan Suresham Vishwadharan Gaganasadrisham Egvarnam Shuvangam Lakshmikantan Kamalanayanam Yogi Vridhyana Gamyam Bandhe Vishnu Bhavabhaiharan Sarvalok Ekainathan Om Triambakam Yajamahesh Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukmeva Vandanan Mrityor Mokshiya Mamritat Om Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. Today I want to share with you with utmost humility. Yesterday I went to, under the Multi-Faith Forum in New York, I went to one church and there were many faiths, and when my turn came, I made this point, so I just want to share with you with utmost humility. The idea I brought up in that church was that if God is one, then why there are so many faiths? I put up this question. If God is one, then why there are so many faiths? And I didn't get any right answer. But under the periscopic wisdom of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, I initiated and brought up to the attention of the audience that Mount Everest on this planet is only one. There are many peaks, but Mount Everest is one. So if you want to go at the peak of that mountain, Mount Everest, then there are many routes. If you go from Tibet, from India, from Pakistan, and from other countries of the world, every citizen of that country will follow their own path, because there is no one path going to the Mount Everest. There are many. The same concept is applicable in that God is one, he fails. So if you go to, at this point in time, going to Mount Everest, there are no fences, there are paths, open paths. You can travel, they can travel your path. But these faiths, these are also paths searching for the God, taking you to the highest level of spirituality, which is the divinity, which is the manifestation of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So there are many paths, but the mistake what they have done under the high standard of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, they have put up the fences. So their faith is not universal. They have put themselves in the boxes. Christianity, it is in the box. Muslim faith, it is in the box. And so forth and so on. All you name it, there are fences. Either you follow it or you are not belonging to that faith. But in the concept of Sanatana Dharma, to which Srimad Bhagavad Gita is the integral part, there is no fence. The knowledge of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is universal, applicable to all. Because when God speaks, he speaks for everybody. These Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, Jain, Buddhists, Christianity, they are all man-made names. God didn't make these names. These are man-made names, names of the boxes in which you are staying. And to illustrate the point, I made another example that if in the church there are 20 windows and the priest is opening only one window, the other 19 windows are closed, and the sun peeps up in the morning only from the one window. And the other corners of the church, they don't get the sunlight. So I asked that if you open up all the 20 windows, then it will illuminate. It will be full of sunshine, fresh air. So that is the same concept applicable to all other faiths. Faiths are good, but don't put them into the boxes. You have created the fences. The Almighty Bhagavan Shri Krishna created this little planet. 3/4 is water, 1/4 is earth, on which we the people are crowded, 7.8 billion people. And now that part of the earth has been converted into countries. Who made it? Not God. It is we the people. And then we fight. Then we create the hate. Then we kill anybody who crosses that fence. So this is what is happening. So I requested to the audience to open up those boxes. And if your faith is applicable, bring the test of universality. That it is applicable to all, irrespective of caste, creed, color, language, national origin. It must apply. And Srimad Bhagavad Gita passes all those tests. We are not in the box. We talk about the universality, brotherhood, mankind, love for all, hate to none. And I gave the profound example of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, Advaita Sarva Bhutanam. We say every day, Mega, you give me any quotation where such profound thoughts are expressed. Those thoughts are sectarian. But I didn't criticize. It was a very formal discussion. But the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita prevails because it is universal, and you should be proud of the part of this highest discipline, spiritual, personal. So with the constraint of time, we have to respect time. Kalo Osmin. I would stop right here, but I will request everybody to think in that. Always talk in the form of universality. And that is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Thank you, Kapurji. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. As I mentioned before, our next speaker is Janki Ruby Keswalji from Gita Ashram of Chicago. And we are very proud that she is the first one on this program from Gita Ashram of Chicago to be a guest speaker. I very humbly request Janki ji to please take it from here. Next 10 minutes, 12 minutes are yours. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshiji. You have been an inspiration for all of us. So thank you for this opportunity. My pranams to you and to all those who are present here. I'd like to first begin with prayer to Lord Almighty and to Guru Maharaj. Namah Purustat Tata Prishtataste Namostute Sarvata Eva Sarva Ananta Viryamita Vikramastam Sarvam Samapnoshi Tatosi Sarvaha. Salutations unto thee, one who pervades in and through all. My salutations in front and from behind to you and from all sides indeed. O boundless power, who possesses limitless might, you are all. Gurunandinandischa Guruh Paramadevatam Guruh Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Salutations to the Guru, who is the beginning and beginningless, who is the highest deity and beyond whom there is none. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. Guru Maharaj Ji blessed me with the name Janki. And when I joined Chinmaya Mission as a Bal Vihar teacher, Swamiji over there mentioned that I should be known as Janki because Gurudev had given me the name. Ruby is the name given to me by my father, Dr. Professor Prasad, who has been explaining the meanings of 7, 12, and the 8th chapter right now via Zoom. Actually, he's been teaching in Malaysia for since 40 years, and now it's still going on. A person of high principles, staunch devotee of Guru Gita and Gopal. Wherever he is, whether he's in Chicago, Sacramento, Bangalore, Toronto, he will meticulously prepare the shlokas of the power on the PowerPoint and be present every Saturday to share his wisdom. My father is a shining light in our family. He's the one who guided all of us towards Gurudev. Guru Maharajji's first ashram outside India was Malaysia, Gita Ashram, Malaysia. My father was diligently working as a head of the department in Kuala Lumpur Hospital. And when Maharajji was in town, every evening Papa would say, "Get ready, we are going for satsang." I, as a young teenager, never hesitated to go to satsang, just to be near Guru Maharaj. He would speak in Hindi, and my father would sit at his holy feet, translating every sentence in English. I enjoyed the moments and was somehow mesmerized by Maharaj's divine presence. Not only me, but I could see others were too. His gentle voice, his loving glance, his wide, bright smile. I watched Gurudev closely, who had humility, dispassion, austerity like no other. He gave up food and water, salt. For some days lived only on milk. It was unimaginable. Such an austerity that boggled my mind. He welcomed all and remembered everybody's name. And to some, he meant give them nicknames. And to my sister, Abhita, he called her Papita with love. When Auntie Ambo gave us a project to learn the 12th chapter, I made sure that I would memorize it by heart, just for Gurudev. But he did not want anything for himself. He directed our attention to read the Bhagavad Gita. Each satsang, he would fortify each one of us to read the Bhagavad Gita. As Gurudev convinced me I will achieve everything just by reading the Bhagavad Gita, I began my journey chanting the whole of Bhagavad Gita every day. As years passed, I started to understand and contemplate what is Lord's message here. Firstly, Yogeshwara, the teacher, is speaking of yoga in the Bhagavad Gita. From the beginning, Arjun Vishad Yoga to Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Karma Sannyas Yoga, Atma Sanyam Yoga, Gyan Vigyan Yoga, Akshara Brahma Yoga to Moksha Sannyas Yoga. This Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Gyan Yoga. But yoga, what is yoga? In satsangs, I've understood that yoga means communion with the Lord, communion with that Almighty. I understand that Gurudev had given us a mantra to connect with him, to connect with the Lord. And he gave us a 12th chapter, which he said is the heart of Lord Krishna. Mano or Jano, he would say. Okay, so I thought this is the steps to follow. This is my sadhana. Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha. Direct all actions unto me. Mayeva mana adhatsva may buddhim niveshaya. Nirshishyasi mayeva ata urdhvam na sanshaya. Have no doubts, you will live in me. Give me your mind, your intellect. Okay, that should be okay because Lord is Sundaram, Anandakandam, all blissful. To pray to the Lord is good. My problem I would like to share is sama dukkha sukha kshami. Sama shatru cha mitre cha tatha manapamanayo. Shitushna sukha dukkheshu sama sanga vivarjitaha. You see, when I'm happy, I'm happy. When I'm sad, I'm sad. Equal to foe, equal to friends. Sama dukh, ain't even cold and heat. When I'm cold, I'm cold. I'm heat, it's hot. How? Lord is saying samatvam everywhere throughout the Gita. Sama, sama, sama. That is equanimity. Practice equanimity. You see, when I'm cooking dinner for my husband and I'm thinking I made such a delicious dinner and he doesn't say a word of praise, what's happening is I'm getting upset, angry. I'm expecting him to praise me, but he's not. So here, when I'm getting angry is krodha bhavati samoha. Samoha smriti bhanshad buddhinashat pranashyati. I'm thinking, okay, Lord is saying, he is saying that from anger arises delusion, from delusion, confusion of memory, from confusion, memory, loss of discrimination, from loss of discrimination, he perishes. What should I do? Do not expect anything. Anapeksha suchit. You see the pan, the vegetables, the water, the fire, the air, the space, nothing I made. I use them to cook, but I made. That is my problem. And I have to work on that I, the ego I. See, I have understood that the body, sense organs, mind, intellect, cannot function without the omnipotent power of Ishvara. Yet the ego creeps and says, I did the work. But Lord says, Ahankara vimudhatma kartumahasi. He's a fool who thinks he's a doer. So watch the ego, nip it in the bud. Do not expect anything. The important thing is to know that Lord responds. He is Suhrit. He's our well-wisher, Mata, Dhata, Pita, Maha, mother, father, grandfather. If we follow his instructions, he will remove all our impurities. Name bhaktah pranashyati. My devotees never perish. Mind is a flow of thoughts. Channelize the thoughts towards Sat. And the attitude behind all actions and thoughts should be without any ego or arrogance. That's what I'm trying to teach myself. It should be done with an awareness of the conscious reality abiding in me and not the jiva who thinks is the doer. Once we have developed a relationship with and communion with the Lord, with Gurudev's Kripa, love, all actions should be to please him. My concern is that, Lord, are you pleased with me? Karmanyevadikaraste. Actions are in my hand. I shall not be immoral and be free from rajasic and tamasic modes. I shall surrender unto that almighty power, and he's asking us to do that. Siddha siddho samo bhutva samatvam yog uchyate. This yoga of samatvam, a balance in all situations, no demands, no pursuits, no complaints, no ego. When the mind is pure and channelized towards Sat, throughout the day, the mind will automatically dissolve in the eternal oneness in the seat of meditation. Nothing to be afraid of. Mame vansho jivaloke. I am the part of God, and God is infinite, then so am I. Infinite does not break into pieces. He's ever whole and complete, and so am I. Guru Maharaj opened Gita ashrams all over the world. We know he practiced actionless in action. He was totally egoless. He was Lord himself. He is a role model to all of us who he faced countless challenges only with a smile, with Gita in his hand and in his heart. So we thank you and thank the Lord. Thank Gurudev. Thank you, Joshiji, for giving me this opportunity to share my situations with you all. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Shri Krishna, Janki Ji, your first entire learning and experience of Guru Gita and Gopal in today's 10 minutes. Very proud of you. We are very thankful that you came. We love to listen from you again. But you have given a complete glimpse of Guru Kripa in your life, in your family's life. And I'm personally very happy being Gita Ashram of Chicago that you are a true devotee of Bhagavad Gita and Gurudev. Jai Shri Krishna, thank you. My dear friends, again I want to make it clear that today the speaker, Janki Keswaji, is daughter of Dr. Umapati Prasadji, who has been a perennial speaker on Bhagavad Gita, our teacher, our professor, and unfailing any day to come on. So I very humbly, respectfully request Dr. Professor U. Prasadji, Gita Ashram of California, to please take it from here. Dr. Saab, Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Guru.
Thank you very much, Joshi ji. Very nice of you to say those words which I really don't deserve. But let us start satsang with prayer to Bhagavan and Gurudev. Vansi Vibhushitakara Navneerdabhat Pitambara Dharunabimba Dharosthat Purnendu Sundar Mukhat Arvind Netrat Krishnat Param Kimapi Tattvamaham न जाने चिद्रूपेण परिव्याप्तम् त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरम् तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Divine souls, Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. We have been going through chapter 8, Akshar Brahma Yoga, Yoga of imperishable Brahma. We noted that in the first 2 verses, Arjuna had put forward 7 questions to Bhagavan, to which he gave answer to 6 of them in the verses 3 and 4. Now we come to the 7th question. What is this question which Arjuna has put forward? He says, Prayana kale cha katham gyeyosi niyatatmabhi. The word is prayana kale, at the time of death. This is a time which is very significant, very important, and comes to everybody today or tomorrow. It does not come tomorrow. So there is a prayana kale, time of death. We'll discuss that. Then katham gyosi. What is that method? What is that way which one follows to realize you, to get onto you, to understand gyosi, to understand you? आपका तत्व क्या है? कृष्णात् परम किमपि तत्व महम न जाने. That tattva, I don't know. I want to realize that tattva, but how? But Arjuna very cleverly puts in a word what's called niyatatmavi. He realizes that it is not a simple thing to be able to understand or realize or know Brahma. It is probably those who have been able to control themselves, who have been able to Sthita Pragya has reached to the level of Sthita Pragya, that probably they will be able to understand better. So he starts from Niyatatmavi. But mind you, Bhagavan didn't leave it there. Throughout this chapter, from verse 5 to verse 28, he goes on talking about, and he does not leave any aspect, whatever may be the aspect related to the knowledge of Brahma, which a person, whatever level he is. In this question, did Arjuna ask about self-control? But subsequently you will find that Bhagavan discusses in depth all the aspects which a sadhaka will encounter and how to overcome that aspect to be able to realize it. Let us dive into it. Last week I also told you this bhajan looks so simple, but this is the series of 10 stanza which Adi Shankaracharya created while walking at the bank of river Ganga and Banaras. I told you that there were a group of sadhakas. They were memorizing rules of grammar. It's also important to know the grammar. But then Adi Shankara noted that they were so much involved in the nitty-gritty of the grammar that they forgot the Govind. So he said, well, you are Mudha-mate. You are the people who are deluded-minded. You are diverted. You have been trying to memorize the grammar of the Sanskrit grammar and other things. But don't forget Bhaja Govindam. Bhaja Govindam. Bhaja Govindam. Govindam Bhaja Mudmate. Samprapte sanihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrina karne. Oh, deluded minded friends, chant Govind, worship Govind, love Govind, as memorizing the rules of grammar cannot save one from the time of death. There are 12 of them. I will just go one more. Then they ask that how can we save it? What is save? You say that it is the name of Govinda, but how? Then he goes to another verse. They say, Satsangatve, Nisangatve, Nisangatve, Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve, Nischaltatvam, Nischaltatve, Jivan Mukti, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Murtmate. So here, Bhagavan is giving a process through which you should go to be able to get rid of this tangle or which make you deluded. You should start with satsanga. It's a beautiful word here. Association of satsang, so very vital. This is supposed to be the first step on the path of spirituality. If one is trying to move on the path of spirituality, nothing is one which is better than satsang. And I don't want to elaborate on that. You are all highly evolved persons. So Bhagavan says, what will happen if you go satsang? You will gradually you will have non-attachment. And that non-attachment will lead to knowledge, right knowledge. Right knowledge will lead to permanent. That is niyatatma. You will be having a foundation with solid understanding of awareness of Brahma. And in that light, once you get that, then you will be liberated. So this is a process which Adi Shankaracharya told to those sadhakas at the bank of river Ganga. This sequence, which goes from satsang to non-attachment to right knowledge, and this is what is called krama mukti. You can get liberated in a process what is called krama mukti, one step after another, and that's how it goes. It is indirect through karma, bhakti, and then jnana. But there are people who are born with sattvic pravritti to start with. They do not have to go through all the processes. And so they go through mukti, what is called sadhyo mukti. It is direct liberation through jnana, through knowledge. Because previous past births, they have given them that stage from where they can take off and just dive into the knowledge part of it. And as such, from there, they develop mukti, they get liberated, and that liberation is called Sadhyo Mukti. Now this Prayana Kale, what is this time of death? One thing is certain, no one knows when that time will come. But death is certain. You have the death staring at you all the time. So the person is very happy, laughing about. He Jivatma with Sthula, Sukshma and Karana Sarira. All these are intact in him and he is enjoying his life. But a time comes that he perishes. What perishes is Sthula Sarira. That the gross, inert body, that is Sthula Sarira, is left behind. That is left behind, and Jiva Atma, Karana Sarir and Sukshma Sarir, they get liberated, get rid of this Jirna Sarira and Navane. Vasansa Jirnani Jitha Bihaya, Navane Granati Naroparani. And that what Navane Granani, that is the one this body gets into. Now, when that happens, there is what is called disintegration of the gross body, but this causal and subtle body, they remain ever. They are not lost. till such time, through the effort of the individual, they gradually start to get rid of their tamasic and rajasic and sattvic pravritti. Once that all goes away, then only he gets rid of this subtle body. And of course, causal body is there to transmigrate into the next body. So this subtle body is what is Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, Panch Pran, Man or Buddhi. They are the aggregate of subtle body. These things, they go through the process in this life and they carry the guna from the previous life. And in this life, they either get rid of them or accumulate more of the burden and then pass on to the subtle body in the next life. Excuse me. Now, this transmigration of soul has been extensively deliberated in our Shastra. And Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, chapter 4, is dedicated to this, how the transmigration of soul takes place. Of course, I'm not going to go through it, but I'm giving you the hint. Anybody who is interested to know the detail of all the process, he can go into the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and chapter 4 he reads. There is a description of transmigration which was introduced in this chapter. Of course, the infinite being completely detached himself from the part of the body, and in order to state when that detachment takes place, how it takes place, which place it takes place, it's necessary to describe the process of transmigration. This entire chapter is dedicated to that, just for me to give you the hint that if you are interested, you may go through that. But Arjuna, when he's talking about how that Niyatatma bhi prayana kale will know you, his idea is to get rid of this transmigration. His idea is to not to get rebirth. He should be Jivana Mukta. And that is the state of what is Niyatatma bhi. Ever immersed in Bhagavan. He is in so, he is not going to take rebirth. That one who has gained this perfect knowledge is a full self-control. His understanding is Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Samahatma, Sadurlava. He understands Atma, Anatma, Vivek. This is the one thing which all the time perplexes individual when which one he should realize as Anatma and which is Atma. Because these two are in the Jiva so much mingled that it is difficult for one to make a differentiation between one and the other. If one is able to have that discrimination, and that is what Niyatatma means, that he is able to make a distinction between what is Atma, what is Anatma. He should get rid of that part which is Anatma, get associated with Atma, and proceed in the direction that he should be one with Bhagavan. Now, when Arjuna asks the question, probably he has in his mind a kind of doubt that at the time of death, Prayana Kale, how can, even if somebody is in Niyatatma bhi, this is another angle you can look at, how come a person, he may be Niyatatma bhi, yes, but at the time of death, when he is living, his lot of things are all not in a proper shape. His mana, buddhi, chitta, all those things are scattered here and there. And in that situation, how is he going to focus his mind? How is going to have that stability of mind to be able to even remember name of Bhagavan? भगवान का नाम भी याद रहे उस समय तो ये बड़ी बात हो जाती है. अगर प्राण चला जा रहा है, क्या भगवान का नाम याद रहता है? हम जाते हैं हॉस्पिटल में और इलाज कराने के लिए, तरह तरह की चीजें वहां लगी रहती हैं. You're all involved in material things all around. Do you catch hold of Bhagavan at that time and hold on to him Do you remember him? That is the point. Probably Arjuna is asking Bhagavan to explain to him as to what is the situation of the mind of that person who is going through the process of getting his body eliminated. Now there is a famous Niti verse. This Niti is, it says, Ajar amarvat pragyo vidyamaratham na chintayet grahit evakeshesu mrityu na dharma macharet. There is a advice on time management for life's goal. What is your time management? If you are considering yourself to be a Jitatma, you think that you are able to remember Bhagavan all the time. How will you do it? There is one way to think that your case ball is being pulled by somebody. See, there is a situation when you have the hair being pulled in such a way so that it keep reminding you that you are going to die. The urgency of there is a situation when by grabbing the hair, it reminds you of the death. And that is in that wise person. When we say wise person, that means he understands that he is Amar. He is Amar, he is immortal, is imperishable. And if that's so, then he should be concentrating on Gyan and Artha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, before getting into the state of this Mithyu, that he should remember Bhagavan, that he is imperishable, he is immortal. And that is one of the niti which is prescribed in our Shastra. We should see all the time that death is always imminent and be ready for that and think that his hair is being pulled in that way. Now, that is the question of Arjuna. Now, Bhagavan replies to that question in verse 5, and he says, Antakale cha mameva smaranamukva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra sanshaya. Bhagavan says, Antakale, at the time of death, and me alone smaran, remember me only. What will happen? Muktva. While relinquishes Muktva kalebram, while relinquishing the body. Now, at that time, those who goes remembering him, he madbhavam yati, he achieves my being. Atna asti atra sanshaya. There is no shadow of doubt about this. He says, he who relinquishes the body while remembering me alone at the time of death attains my being. There is no doubt about that. So, what Bhagavan is asserting? That at the time of death, that means you are dissociating from the Hiranyagarbha. That means whole universe is at one side and your part in that Hiranyagarbha is getting dissociated. That is another way of understanding what is the death. But you are no more part of the whole samsara. You are out from there. You are away from the end of association with Hiranyagarbha. And so what Muktva Kalebra, you are abandoning the idea of identity with the body. I and me exist till such time you are with the body. Once you are out Muktva Kalebram, the feeling I and mine goes away. Yah Prajati, and that time if somebody departs, Mameva Smarana. Hey, this is the most important thing. You see, this smaran or remembrance is a word which comes in so many verses, one after another. We have seen this Smaran over here in 5, that it will come in verse. Again, verse 6, it is Smarana Bhavam. Again, it comes there. Again, there is Smarana Bhavam. Again, Smarana Bhavan. So, in 8 also there is Yukta, Chintayan. All these are memory related. That you are giving up the body while contemplating on him. Your memory is all set onto Brahma. Now, in this case, there is one of the saints I want to read, quote, I'm quoting one statement from a saint. He says, जब हमारा शरीर बुरा होने को होता है तो अंतःकरण में बड़ी पीड़ा होती है। यदि आपको भगवत आश्रय नहीं मिला है, आपने उत्तम भजन सत्संग नहीं किया है, तो क्या होगा? 2 गति होगी। क्या होगी? जहां कहीं भी प्रियता रही हो, that means if you have liking for something, bank balance, your son, your family, your wife, that smriti aa jayegi. So if you have no Bhagavad Asray, then there is possibility that those thoughts which are pleasant to you, that will come before you. या फिर जीवन में जो भी अशोभनीय कर्म किए हैं उसकी स्मृति सामने आ जाएगी। अगर ऐसा हुआ तो अगला जन्म उसी आधार पर मिलेगा। This is the saying of a saint. Let me put that in English. When our body is about to perish, there is great suffering in heart. If you have not taken refuge in God, if you have not engaged in virtuous devotion and spiritual pursuit, then either the memory of whatever you have held dear, that is bank balance, son, family, wife, will come to your mind. Or the memory of the unethical deeds you have committed in life will come before you. If that happens, then the next birth will be determined on that basis. You know the story of Jar Bharat from Bhagavatam. Jar Bharat, he was a king in earlier life, and he was a pious man. After ruling his kingdom for so many years, he decided to give up everything. He distributed the kingdom and gave it to all his sons, and he left for tapasya. When he went to forest, one day he was taking bath on the bank of a lake, and there a deer, a pregnant deer, hurriedly came in front of him and jumped because a tiger was chasing her and gave birth to a fawn. Now that's this, and going to die. So this saint, although he was a saintly person, if the situation was that he could not avoid taking care of that baby deer, and he took that deer to his house, he reared that deer as his own child, and throughout the whole life of that deer, he was so much associated. But at the time of his death, he remembered that deer alone. So in next birth, he became a deer. That is a story in Bhagavatam. Now, because of his pious activities in the past life, that deer was kept by a saint in his house, and he, after the death of that deer, he became a Jar Bharat. That means he was not that sound in his mind. He was roaming about here and there, and people felt that he was not a saint. So they didn't like him to go around and behave like But then he has sanskar in his previous life, and as such, he was liberated later on. So idea is that this person who was a king, who was a pious man, at the time of death, he remembered dear, and this is famous story in Bhagavatam to give an example how at the last moment when you are in the state of dying, if you remember something which is dear to you, then you take birth into that. That is what Bhagavan is talking about. Sada tad bhav bhavita. We also have example of Ma Sati. You know, Ma Sati was married to Lord Shiva against the wishes of her father, Daksh Prajapati. Daksh Prajapati did not like Shiva for some reason. There's another long story. But then he didn't like Shiva. So once he called for a yajna, and in that yajna, he called everybody, all the gods and goddesses, but did not call Lord Shiva and Sati. Sati wanted to go there, but Lord Shiva said, no, 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 we are not invited. We should not go. And Shiva getting restless because all the plane was going one after another, and she was hearing the sound of all the planes going to the place of yajna, but she insisted. And when she insisted, Lord Shiva did not give him permission, yet she went to the Yajnasala, and when she went there, she found there is no place for Lord Shiva. There is something called his portion was not kept there. That is kind of disgrace for any god or goddess who is not given the place at the yajna. And that infuriated Ma Sati. And she had within her Yog Agni. And that Yog Agni she brought about. She immolated herself. But more importantly, before jumping into the Kund, she declared that I shall be reborn and I shall then get married again to Lord Shiva. And that wish of her, which she took at the last moment, was accepted, and it so happened that she got rebirth as Ma Parvati, and she of course went through the penance and ultimately married Lord Shiva. So the question is, these are the examples, clear examples, which state that the wish which one takes at the last moment, at the time of death, that is granted. So what is important? That one should always cultivate the presence of Brahma, presence of Bhagavan, to whom he has whole life cultivated that. Sada tad bhava bhavita. Whose bhava? Bhava Bhagavan. Bhava Paramatma. So if you have that bhava within yourself, if you have cultivated that bhava, then you will have union with Brahma, because you remember then automatically, because of the whole bhava has been going on whole life, you don't have to exert to remember him. That remembrance comes by itself, but you are observed in that. Also example is given of those panihari who take the pot full of water on the head and walk along the street. सुमिरन की सुधियों करो ज्यों गागर परिहार बोलत डोलत सूरत में कहे कबीर विचार. कबीर कहते हैं कि all those panihari, she's walking along the street and looks like she's not taking notice of that gara is full of water on the head, yet the whole concentration is, although they're talking about moving about, gossiping, yet all the attention is on the pitch, on the pot containing water, and that is one which requires concentration of mind focused on one Brahma, on Paramatma, that will be the one which will take you towards the realization of Brahma. If you are constantly done it whole life, at the end of the life, that will automatically come to you. So, Bhagavan gives the, again, a more or less, this conclusion part of this part, Bhagavan says, Tasmat sarvesu kalesu mamanusmara yudhyacha mayyarapita mano buddhir ma me vaishasya sansayam. O Arjun, therefore, he has given the reasons before how the focus is required, how the constant attention is required. And say, therefore, sarvesu kalesu. Because you don't know what time your death will come. You should be doing all the time. Sarvesu kalesu ma anusma, remember me. Cha yuddha, that means you should be fighting the war of sansara. You should be, here yuddha is for Arjuna, but not for others. For others, it is the kind of your bounden duty. You should all the time, while perform your action, remembering him and perform action. Action is performed with him on all the time. We talk of catching hold of Bhagavan's leg on one hand and performing action with the other. So if that is the attitude that serves Mahamanusmar Yuddhacha, how Mayyarapit, that surrender, remembering is through surrendering himself. What surrender? Mind and intellect. That is our main asset, mind and intellect. That mind and intellect should be surrendered onto him. Surely, one says, you shall attain me. Surely and without doubt. How? Double, twice, he is emphasizing this point that you will come to me. The question, the answer is, therefore, always remember me and also do your duty of fighting war with mind and intellect. Surrendering unto me, you will definitely attain me. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Now, when we talk of how to sarvesu kalesu, how one should be able to perform this remembrance, or how one can remember all the time, sarvesu kalesu, there has to be a way to do it. And see what happens when we talk of memory, it is the individual who has experience in the life, and that experience goes into memory. So later on, when he again wants to retrieve that information, that from memory bank it is retrieved. So this phenomena of I can't remember your experience, you can't remember my experience. So everybody has his own experiences, and those experiences are all collected into what is called memory bank. So the memory bank contains whatever information you have been able to collect over a period of time, and that is subject to retrieval by the individual as and when, and several factors, depending upon several factors, that those information contained in the memory bank are retrievable by the individual. So if you are all the time putting in the mind or putting in the memory Bhagavan and Bhagavan and Bhagavan all the time, then when you are trying to retrieve that information, that Bhagavan's name will come automatically. Mahatma Gandhi had not to struggle to say Hey Ram when Nathuram Godse shot gun on his heart. He straightway said Hey Ram. That is the automatic way of his expression. He has been doing this all the time. Whenever there was a need for him to remember Ram Bhagwan, he will say, Hey Ram, and Hey Ram. And that practice of Hey Ram, utterance of Hey Ram came automatically to him because that was stored in his memory bank, which he could retrieve very easily at the time when he was dying. Now, so what is important here? Abhyasa Yoga. Bhagavan talks about here, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa Nanyagamina Paramam Purusham Divyam Yatu Parthanu Chintayan. Oh Arjun, through practice of yoga, by constantly engaging in remembrance, निरंतर स्मरण करने में लीन रहना. How? Chetasa, mind. Because mind and memory is a component of mind. Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. There are 4 components. Mind is complex in which memory stands there. So, na anya gamina, without deviating from there. It has to be constant. You can't afford to deviate. Then Paramam Purusham Divyam, that Param Purusha, that he attains one through constant remembrance. I think I will stop here. Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev, Dr. Prasad ji. A very, very enlightening verse, Pranayana Kalesha. We should all know one thing for sure. Anyone who has taken a sharir has to leave the sharir because that sharir is a temporary ownership. It's a lease to us. The one who has leased it should be known, and that's what we are. And we are the part of that Govinda that he brought up with Shankaracharya, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. We should always remember Govind all the time when you are trying. And once you try to recite in your breathing frequency, you will be surprised that it keeps coming. Whenever there is a time, Govind will come. And that is the way at the last time Govind will be there in our heart, in our mind, and in our soul. Thank you so much, Govinda Nama, Govinda Nama, Govinda Nama. Now please join me to request Swami Gita Kiran ji to take us through the meditation. I want to stress that last meditation on full moon was appreciated by so many, but sorry that so many of us could not join because of daylight saving time in America. So please listen to that meditation again. The link has been given to us on the Saturday satsang on WhatsApp. And if you need it, I can send it again. That meditation was well appreciated by so many, and someone sent the message that meditation really healed, it really invoked the vibration in them. So I request again Swami Gita Kiranji, so please take us to the meditation as the last program of today. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, Joshiji. Parama Sukadam Kevalam Gyanamutim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Majalam Savati Sakshiputam Bhavatitam Trigularahitam Sadgurum Tam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Pashyati savatra sarvam ca me pashyati tasyaham na panashyami saja me na panashyati yo mam pashyati savatra sarvam ca me pashyati tasyaham na panashyami saja me na panashyati yo mam pashyati savatra sarvam ca me pashyati tasyaham na panashyami saja me na panashyati yo mam pashyati savatra sarvam ca me pashyati tasyaham na panashyami saja me na panashyati yo mam pashyati savatra sarvam ca me pashyati tasyaham na panashyami saja me na panashyati yo mam pashyati savatra sarvam ca me pashyati tasyaham na panashyami saja me na panashyati. He who sees me everywhere and sees all in me, I am not lost to him, nor is he lost to me. Yo mam pashyati savatra sarvam ca me panashyami saja me na panashyati. Jita sangha dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvandve vimuktaha sukha lokasange gacchanta moha padama vayam tat sarvasya chaham iti sannivishto mattasmitirya namapohanam cha vede cha sarve rahameva vejo vedantra kitave davideva chaham vedanta kitave davideva chaham. And slowly open your eyes and know that you are a unique and beautiful spiritual being of pure consciousness, and all you have to do is to shine brightly and you'll be helping the world and the universe. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. Stay blessed.
Thank you, Joshi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swami Gita Kiranji. Today was a very interesting, very powerful version given by Dr. Prasad, where Govind was brought out again and again. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Moolamate by Sri Shankaracharya ji. So think of Govinda, think of Krishna, think of Vasudevaya, and that is a blissful thinking. So I want to end the program with Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranatah Krishnashaya Govindaya Namo Namah Govindaya Namo Namah Govindaya Namo Namah. Thank you, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gopal, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Dr. Prasad, awesome job. Dr. Prasad, awesome.
Jai
Beautiful.
Shri Krishna.
Beautiful. And
Jai Shri-
Janki ji, beta, awesome job. Father and daughter team here. Okay. Thank you very, very much. God bless
I'm
you.
very proud of her.
We all are.
We
Thank
all
you.
are proud of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you very much.
Gurudev
everybody.
also proud of her.
Of course. Of course.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Guru.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.